What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new documentary series Turning Point, the Vietnam War. Let's rock this. Okay, as you all know, I was born and raised in my homeland, Indonesia. And so Vietnam is basically my geographical neighbor, since both countries are located in the same Southeast Asia. My point is, I grew up learning and knowing quite a lot about the Vietnam War. And over the years, I've watched several other documentaries about the Vietnam War, in addition to those Oliver Stone movies, you know what they are. So when Netflix sent me the advanced screener for this one, I hesitated for a minute, thinking, do I really want to put myself through this emotionally draining experience? Because man, I don't think my heart can take another round of listening to the horrific details of the My Lai massacre. But I mustered up the strength and I decided to watch it, and well, I'm not gonna lie, I broke down in tears a few times while watching these episodes. Some of them made me angry, and some of them got me crying like a baby, because this is quite possibly the most comprehensive, the most significant, the most insightful, and the most valuable historical overview of that tragic foreign policy blunder. I mean, the dehumanization of Southeast Asians and the disregard for civilian lives during that era was just fucking unbelievable. From Luminant Media and director Brian Knappenberger, Turning Point: The Vietnam War offers an unfiltered look at one of the most defining and divisive conflicts in modern history, and the profound, lasting impact it has had on America's global identity and on the lives of countless people. This 5-episode docu-series showcases a war that was more than just a military failure. It was a political and cultural reckoning that reshaped America, exposed deep divisions at home, and shattered trust in the government. With unprecedented access to CBS News archives through See It Now Studios, rare Vietnamese footage, declassified government records, and previously unearthed White House recordings, the series spans nearly 2 decades and 3 different presidential administrations, amplifying often overlooked perspectives, as both America and Vietnam mark the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon. Turning Point: The Vietnam War offers a timely exploration of how the war's unresolved wounds, unlearned lessons, and enduring consequences continue to shape the world today. I'll get a lot of heat for saying this, but I'll say it anyway. America is the bad guy in this story. Now, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of bad guys going around, including the North and the South Vietnam, with all their constant changing of leadership, one coup after another after another. Oh, I can do a better job as president. No, fuck you, I can do a better job as president. Oh, shut up. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Period. But America, specifically the US government, was evil and reckless and arrogant. And anybody who has watched this entire documentary will also come to the same conclusion that the American empire deserved most of the blame for this catastrophe. And the most infuriating part, it never stops. Iraq and Afghanistan were basically Vietnam 2.0. And now those assholes, Trump and Netanyahu, are talking about bombing Iran, which is potentially bringing us into World War III. You see, back then, we were on a pissing contest with the Soviets. And now, we're stupidly picking fights with China and Russia. And so, these few superpower top dogs, including the US, are still playing the geopolitical chessboard on our planet. Ooh, capitalism versus socialism. Which new world order will win? All the while treating us human lives as expendable pawns. It's disgusting. But let me get back to the documentary at hand. These 5 episodes will stay with you long after the end credits roll. I mean, the information is devastating. And kudos to the documentary filmmakers for digging deep and searching every nook and cranny. I think a lot of people will be riveted by the audio recordings, the secret taped conversations of our presidents planning to construct their lies to the American people behind closed doors. But to me, what stands out the most about this docu is actually the interviews with the talking heads of the Vietnamese people, especially the former Viet Congs. Because, we've seen and heard the various testimonies from the American Vietnam War veterans 1,000 times before. But to hear the viewpoints and the perspective of the Viet Congs themselves about what went through their minds at that time is nothing short of fascinating, which is a testament to this docu's balanced and objective analysis. Turning Point: The Vietnam War has a very broad and complex scope. It covers a lot of grounds, as it should, and it doesn't shy away from the gruesome details of those difficult events and the human stories behind said events. Their use of archival photos and archival footage also serves as a powerful visual context. They are heartbreaking, they are deeply moving, and at times they get you boiling mad at some of the key decision makers, especially such villains as Robert McNamara, General Westmoreland, and Henry Kissinger. There's definitely a special place in hell for those pieces of shit. The docu delves into the My Lai massacre on episode 3, and it should come with a warning that if you are not emotionally strong enough, then I suggest you avoid that episode at all costs. Because if you choose to watch it, then I guarantee that your perception of America as some kind of a shining city on a hill will forever be shattered. Just completely destroyed. Now, my personal theory is, and this is just my theory, far be it from me to ever blame the soldiers because they too are brainwashed by our corrupt leaders' propaganda, but I think the US soldiers in My Lai just snapped. Maybe prior to that day, they kept seeing their fellow soldiers murdered by the Viet Congs. Maybe they realized they couldn't win the war, and maybe they were at their final breaking point, and something in them just snapped. And since they couldn't defeat the Viet Congs, they took their pent-up anger and frustration out on the civilians. Because by that point, they're thinking, who cares? They all look the same anyway. They're all the same anyway. And when your mentality reaches the point where you are able to dehumanize certain groups of people, that is when all hell breaks loose. I'm not condoning nor rationalizing the war crime they committed, but if I were to speculate on what the reason or the motivation was, that is what I'd bet my money on. Unfortunately, we, the American people, are stuck in a country that never learns from its own history and is doomed to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Because our government doesn't serve us. It serves the corporations and the defense contractors and the weapons manufacturers and the war lobbyists who prioritize short-term profit even at the expense of children dying. So yeah, overall I give Turning Point: The Vietnam War the rating of 5 out of 5. The most in-depth, the most thought-provoking, the most shocking documentary ever made about the Vietnam War. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's definitely the most important documentary you'll watch this year.